Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing stages 71 to 74 of the Hachette Partworks release and build the Doctor Who Dalek. So as you can see, we have got some big packs in here, and obviously I bought up the base, and you know how big that is. I think today we're going to finally realise how big this is going to be, and as such I think we're going to have trouble filming it as well, because we are now going up and my table doesn't go any further down. It only goes up, it goes down, so not quite sure how I'm going to film this. I might have to use my mobile phone, but we are building up, and this Dalek, I tell you now, is going to be coming up to around about here. So I don't know, we'll figure that out when we get to it. I don't think this is still available, but you know me, I always put all of my links on the QR code here. It's also in the video description. Let's see exactly what we are doing today though, so without further ado, let's get cracking. Now, if you remember last time, I did put this on, but I don't think we're meant to put this on yet, so I'm just going to take it off. In fact, I don't need any of this, so I'm going to put this on the floor. Although putting that on the floor may be very short-lived, because I've got a funny feeling we're going to have to bring it back up again in a second. But this is stage 71. And here is the magazine. Wow, look at that. Multicoloured Dalek for the centerfold. And as you can see, we now have these metal rods here. So we are going to have to bring this up. And we are starting to screw these into the positions that you can see just there. Wow, and this is what the big panel is that you saw the box at the start of this video is. So when I get these out, have a look how big they actually are. I think we can probably get away at the moment without having to move cameras. I am going to be bringing this section up as well. Now remember, if you had a problem with the inserts of the wheels, and I did explain this in the last stage, there is a replacement parts coming in stage 75. I'll tell you now, I'm not going to be doing it on the channel because all my wheels were fine. I didn't have that problem. So, but if you have, all the instructions will be in stage 75 for you. Okay, so the way these metal rods are going, we have got two holes in here, which are basically going to be going onto the points here. And I'll do the same on this side just here. Whoa, and it's going to fall down. But we are going to need to hold this in. So I'm actually just balancing it at the moment with these flange screws. And they just go into the holes here. And by the look of it, they are going to need some oil. Now, obviously the outer part of these as well is facing towards the outside. But yeah, the oil really does help. Now, I did have some people asking, Wayne, where's your ratchet screwdriver? Well, funny you should say that, because I'm actually going to be using that now, because I can't get my big screwdriver in here because of this point here. So I am going to use my ratchet screwdriver to get this in. There we go, that's it, nice and solid there. Okay, let's do the other side. There we go, that's two in. It's just a case then of spinning it around and doing exactly the same thing on the other side. Which of course gets harder because now we've got hardly any room to screw these in. Perfect. So all four of those in, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So what I'm going to try and do is push this to one side, which will enable me to bring up stage 72. And as you see, it's in this very big box here. Let's get the magazine out first. And here is the magazine, looking like this massive plastic part that we're going to be putting on by the look of it. Another centerfold. And here's the rest of the magazine. And as you can see, we've got 4 mounting points for this to go on top of the, I don't know, the rods that we've already put in there. And we're going to be screwing that into place, I'm guessing. Just like that. Do we screw it in or do we just rest it on top? It doesn't look like they're screwed in. It's just slotting on top. So, yeah, we'll do that. That means this is going to be a lightning quick stage. But let's have a look what we've got. Wow. Excellent. So now I'm glad that we didn't actually take this off the table, because what we're going to be doing is just making sure that these fit into each of the hole cavities here, here, Yes, so believe it or not, I'm going to have to do this on this camera. First time I've used this camera for a build. Okay, so all we're going to do is put these holes here onto the rods we just put in. So let me just show you me doing that. 1, 2, 3, and come on, 4. Perfect. So that is sitting just like that, and you know you're going to want to see how big this is now currently is. There you go. That's the end of that stage. So as I'm rapidly running out of room on my desk, stage 73. Here's the magazine. And looks like we've got one big rod here with some brackets that's going to be going on that. I'm sure that's what's going to be supporting the actual skirt section here. Putting these into place, and then we're actually going to be putting this against this part we just put in. So that's what's actually going to hold that into place. So by the end, we've got 2 of these going down the front there. And it looks like we've got more of the same in the next stage. So let's get this open. Wow, every individual thing is wrapped up. So I'm going to have to unwrap everything here. Now I am going to open everything up here, but all of these brackets here are labelled different. For example, these are labelled A1 at the top here. These here are labelled A1 as well. There's me saying they're labelled different. Am I a liar? No, A2. See, they are all different. I want these PP screws as well. The first one I need is the one that's labelled A1. It's got a little A1 there. Okay, so I need one of these brackets which are labelled A1, which is this one here. It's labelled actually A1, 1 of 1. That's going to be going into the point just here, this way round. Next one's going to be A1, 1, 2. So let me find that one. That's this one here. A1, 1, 2. That's going to go there. Then we want A1, 1, 3. That's there. And finally A1, 1, 4, which is this one here. Now with these PP screws, these are going to be held in from the other side here. So just through the hole there and get that in. So one here. And just work my way down all of these brackets. Perfect, so they're all in place. So they are slightly tilted. There's different angles on all of these. But that one's done. Now at the top of this section, I need the piece that's labelled A1. It looks like this. This is a top. That's going to be this one here. Having it this way round, this is actually going to be going on here like that. And I'm holding that in once again with a PP screw. And there you go, that's into place. Again, it's in at an angle. You can see that because we've got an angle here. We're then in a position that we can actually put this on the model. What I'm doing is I'm going to try and show you that on my side camera here. Now, this point just here. Now, this point just here, you might be able to see that on the top camera, is where this is actually going to be going. So this is going to be fitting in here like this. The other side is actually going to be going into this channel down the bottom here. So it should fit nice and flush in there, just like that. Again, we want the PP screws to hold the top in first. Need 2 of these. So we've got the top ones in. Now the bottom one has a very big bolt here. What we need to do is put the bolt through the front, so it comes through the metal bracket. Hopefully you can see this on the side camera. There you go, and it's held in with a nut just from the other side. And I'll get that tightened up. So now that is not going anywhere. And what we've done on one side, we're going to do on the other. So this time I've got the A2, and we're going to be putting these in the order. So the A2 2 of 2 will be going there. The A2 2 of 3 will be going there. the A2204 here, which means the A2201 right at the top. And then once again, with these PP screws, I'm going to turn this over and put these in from this side. Perfect, so they're all in. Once again, at the top here, we want it this way round, so I can put this into place, which will be going in here, held in once again with a PP screw. And then once again, as you can see, that's at an angle. And I have now zoomed up my top camera all the way out, so you can see what I'm doing, exactly the same thing. This is going to be going in here and slotting in the top, which means I can put screws just down here to put this in. Boy, this certainly came along quickly. And then we've got the bolt, which is going to go through this whole section here, held in with a nut, and then screw this in. There you go. And with that in place nice and tight, that's all there is to do in that stage. This pack has been so difficult to film, but I'm guessing for the next few stages we're going to be doing more of the same with what you've just seen. So again, here's the magazine for stage 74. You know you want to see the centerfold. There isn't a centerfold. Oh no. Wow. Okay, no centerfold in this one. But again, this time we've got just one row. Oh no, we've got two rows with the brackets, which are now going on. So it's going to look just like this. And more of the same coming in the next pack. So you know what? I don't think I need to look at the instructions. I get the idea. These are always the famous last words. Okay, so basically it's the same way. We're going to have B1 here, which means B114 will be going here. I'm just looking at the B113 will be the third one down. B112 is going to go here, and B111 is there. And held them in once again with PP screws from the other side. And then load up a PP screw. We want the B1 header, which is this one, which is going to go in here. Get that screwed in. Bring over the Dalek. And it's easy to see where they go because they're labelled up at the top here. See, this one says B1, so the next one's going to be over here. So this is exactly the same thing. Down the channel there. And slot this into the top, put it in with two PP screws, and then we just need the bolt going through the bottom and the hole in the bottom there, and hold that in with a nut from the other side. And this time let's use some movie magic. So this is what it looks like bare. If I click my fingers, as you can see, that's done. I love movie magic. Right, okay, bring this over, and this time this is going to be going in this side over here. So again, PP screws at the top to hold this in. And then finally, the bolt through the bottom. And with a nut here. I know my hand's hiding this, you can't see this. But get that tight. And with that in, that is all there is to do in that pack. Now, let me go over to this camera so you can actually see how big this is. Now, obviously, we can agree there's no way this is going in a storage box anymore. So I'm going to need to put this on the floor. So I do have some other parts of the Dalek here, which I can probably add to this to keep it all in one place. So let's do that now. And namely, that's this fella here. Now, I could probably put the dome section on as well, but to be honest with you, it won't actually fit on properly until I've put some reinforcements around here and stuff, which I don't think I've got at the moment. I think that's where we're up to. So let's give you an idea of how this actually is. There you go. That is how big the Dalek is. That's got to be the fun now, surely. Anyway, oh, it is heavy as well now. So let's put that down. I don't know if I was meant to put this on. I'm sure this will actually just fit on now over the top, so I can keep this on as well. Yeah, it does. There you go. So that's where we're up to, and I'm out of breath. Can you believe that? I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.